manufacturing footprint and strategy globally is being kind of rethought in certain ways. And this is happening in several other organizations as well, global organizations, how manufacturing is being rethought. Market access and customer acquisition is being rethought completely. It's not only in consumer retail, where of course it's very, very focused marketing now, but also in business to business. We're using more and more digital tools.
Could you share some examples where changes are happening and some of the recent initiatives that were undertaken?
So one is automation per se. So automating processes. Okay, and I'll talk a little bit on that. Second is the digitization piece and using data, using digitization and using what should I say, smart ways of forecasting and projecting, planning and forecasting, smart ways of planning and forecasting. So that is the second pillar. And the third would be the change in the organization itself and the skill development and the shift in the kind of skills that you look in the closing of accounts and in the finalization of accounts. We are using automation. We are using certain tools for preparation of our schedules, for our balance sheet analysis, balance sheet review, etc. So there's like pricing and in sales, there's a lot of stories, and then you use that in taking some actions, restructuring pricing and discount levels. In some traditionally had is process owners managing the key internal controls. So you have process owners who are responsible for ensuring that those internal controls work. So then somebody has to self-assess, somebody has to audit, etc. So our kind of vision is to have all that embedded and then do automated checks through the system on the internal controls to take out all the manual intervention there. So that's another area. So in our accounting transformation and our controls transformation, this is one piece. And in our what we call the financial planning and analysis, FP&A transformation, we're doing a lot of data analysis and
are there any operating models or metrics which you are aspiring towards? I mean, the market conditions remaining what they are. I mean, the way you would, let's say, look at your corporation internally, right? I'm just, some companies look at, we will always have hybrid workforce working from anywhere. We would like to have, touchless processing, 95%. Things like that. Are there any thoughts with which you are approaching?
Structure their requirement through a portal that we have for them, so that once they do that and somebody gives a quotation, it's all zero touch. So zero touch orders is very much there in the plan. I mean, well, it's kind of advanced. We track it now. And the other thing is, marketing in terms of what we do for promotion, marketing and promotion. I mean, that is becoming extensively digital. We have tools now to track how the leads are being generated and then follow through the funnel, how much we are losing while they make their journey through the funnel, and how much gets converted and all that. We have to invest in digital and automation. We keep aside some funds every year in our budget, but we have to generate those funds either from efficiency or from higher margins that we make from the business. How good is your data? So the data quality, consistent data models in the systems, in the ERP and also all other feeding systems, standardization of processes. These are becoming prerequisites. So these are becoming enablers. So what we are doing is, I mean, we have a large finance transformation project which has been progressing, and so before going into automation, what we are trying to do is to standardize processes and ensure that our data models are consistent. So there are large projects which are being run, which basically ensures that the accounting, for instance, in the ERPs is consistent. More sustainable relationships in terms of, in simple terms, capex to opex kind of models, but also sharing of benefits kind of model. So, and since we're in the energy and automation business, some of the asks from the customer is to say, okay, if you say that this is going to be my energy efficiency in for using your solution, then can we share those benefits over a 3-year or a 5-year period? So that's a model change which is happening. So there are several changes, and internally, of course, in finding revenue recognition that you're doing in different kinds of business models. We have product sales, we have solutions projects, we have software sales. So the revenue recognition methodology to be consistent and ingrained in the system so that it gets accounted in the consistent way. As the opportunity for using robotic process automation is more, and that's where it is being used. But in 2021, we would have given up maybe 70 or 80,000 square feet of space in India. So we've worked towards that model, and that's what we expect as a sustainable model. So that's for one. In terms of the operating model, etc. So we also have zero touch orders, for instance. I mean, we're trying to build a seamless platform with distributors so that right from the quotation stage, and that's another transformation that we're doing, that we are automating the quotation to order to delivery process, so that from the quotation stage, once
what we have managed to do within IBM, and I've seen that with a lot of our clients, is to leverage operating model as a way to overcome some of these challenges, right? Carving out center of excellence, center of scales, as a driver for a lot of that, incubation being done, and then cascaded widely with the governance leadership in general. I'm sure those are thoughts which you also are looking.
No, centers of excellence are being used. I mean, that's a model which is being tried all over the organization. So certain areas where we believe you need a few people who will hold the policy and look at the core, and then the rest of it should be standardized. We are experimenting with centers of excellence. We haven't used our external partners yet in any of these.